want my volume a little louder. Go. And just for giggles, I'm going to go ahead and begin. Enter, 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 enter. Select all of my characters, mods, legs, purchase, equipment, Persuader Tuan, purchase. Yeah, everybody's got one. They don't need it. Double click and tap and go. You get over here. And as soon as we can shoot this guy. Wow, I can't shoot this guy. Wow, that was really slow. Okay, next mission. Enter, 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 enter. We need just one guy. Double tap and go. I'm going to use the map because it's faster. I'm going to come right up here to the front door, say hi. And once my guy is shot, everybody that needs to be shot, please. Thank you. Select the Persuader. Run up here. Run inside, please. Grab him. Come back. We have to make sure we get this guy out of the building. And just bring him all this way here. Hopefully we turn our thing on. And cool enough, it looks like if you turn on your hormonal things, it actually looks like it does for the other, all the guys around you as well. Make sure that guy doesn't run up the wall. Okay, excellent. That was actually a time save there, despite losing more time on the first stage. Alright, so we're going to take the next stage, and we want to make sure we give everybody some shotguns. 1, 2, 3 should be fine. Accept and go. Everybody in the car, please. Scroll down the screen, and once everybody's in, get through the door. Pop out of the car. Shotguns on. Actually, want to come down this way. Some of these are just easier to control on the map, and that guy should follow us here in a minute. We're going to take this guy out. It's kind of hard to see what's going on because I'm just going. Okay, one of my guys has just got waxed. That's fine. Come on, take him out. I prefer not to lose my guys here, but that's, you know. Get in the car. Everybody's in. Click. See, that's kind of a luck of the kind of a luck of the draw thing there. All right, enter, 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 enter. Next one, enter, enter. I'm going to select my guys that I have available and do chest, purchase it, and go. Not everybody's going to have gotten it, but that's fine. And you can right-click to kind of keep an eye, because unfortunately with this game, you can do everything from the map. So as far as pretty is concerned, it doesn't necessarily always end up being pretty. Okay, we still have 3 guys. That's good. Get in here. Get in here. Okay, excellent. I see where that can get faster, because you can, with the legs, you can actually catch him before he gets into the, you can actually catch him before he gets in there. Make sure to purchase the chest again, so that everybody who does not have a chest has it, and we're going to load up on shotguns and accept it. So we're going to grab everybody and come down here. Hopefully everybody comes down the ramp and we're happy there. And run all the way down here and go take out this guy. Okay. Gonna run around. Okay. Gonna run up this way because all the guys are coming this way. Okay. Come on, guys are coming up this way. Okay, come lines from the north. And evacuate. So we go back up here. Get my running back on. Go, 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 please. Lost a little bit of time there. See, I only have 3 guys. I had all 4 the last time I did it. Okay. Enter. Okay, get to the next area, which is Kazakhstan. Is going to be that one. Enter. Make sure everybody has at least 4 shotguns, and they more than do. Alright, so I'm going to grab everybody again. Gear up, and then run to this corner. And this is where my trick works. Hopefully, if they decide to not go in the daggum building. Thank you. If I run to the corner here. And then drop this up. Whoa! That's not cool. Alright, well that's that. Yep, I wasted some time there. That's why that happened. Okay. Cool. I could say it's a quickie there. Unfortunately. Yeah, we'll update the ones that got better. So this is against... against personal best. Yeah, that's the personal best, which is a 654. We're going to do this again here. I just wanted to wait and make sure I had the person who asked me about this here. Let's see. That's not the one. Nope. Okay. Well, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and just start kind of running through, and if certain someone's that we're asking about it drops in, I'll go ahead and I'll start back from the top. But generally speaking, I think we should be okay with what we got. So, we're going to go ahead and restart the game. This restarts it to where the last save was. I would just like to make this, empty these out. They're just going to be called empty. So this should be stock here. Actually, it's not. These aren't stock, but that's fine. Let's go back to menu here. So if I begin mission and I click on the first one here, yeah, those aren't going to be default because I've already messed it up. So restart, load save. I'm going to make sure these are empty. Just got to clear these. The game doesn't progress, I believe, while you're in the this menu at least. Alright. So, we're going to reload from start and begin. Alright, so this is Syndicate. Syndicate is a very, very unique game, and at the time it was probably one of the first ones that really did what it did and did it well. This is an espionage, assassinate, slash capture, coerce, escort, one of those kind of ideas, and at the time it was pretty unique. The basic story is your main character here, which really doesn't matter, but this particular one gets nailed with a car and thrown into it. Obviously you can see it's very futuristic. Drug off somewhere secret, of course. Well, maybe not so secret. This gigantic facility is prepared for biogenetic engineering, and essentially they drag this person in, hook him up here. Watch some cool little animations. For the time, it was really cool. He reaches in and completely removes and redesigns the leg. So basically ripped the leg off and gave him a new one. And then gave him a nice rubber coating. And then of course ripped the top of their head off and put a gauge in the back of it. So that's kind of the story for this character at the very least. However, when you actually get into the game, the specific characters are never actually ever referred to aside just being agents. So all of the characters in the game that you use are called agents. Easy enough. Of course, created by Bullfrog, blah, blah, blah. So from the top here, we have the ability to configure company. For the sake of the speedrun, this is not necessary. Be aware, though, too, some of your cheats and exploitations can be done by altering the company name to a couple specific ones. Not, of course, permitted for the Das Cathlon race. FYI, this is the second game in the race, so first game being Alley Cat is very, very spastic. This one's a little more directed and a little more complicated. Of the games on the list, I feel this is probably one of the more complicated ones to get a good feel for exactly what you do with the game. So, bearing that in mind, it and MechWarrior are probably the most complicated ones as far as mechanics, but this is also one of the shortest ones if you do it, at least so far. Not the shortest, but hi, Crouching Cheese, good to see you, good to see you. So right now I'm just throwing out a quick tutorial on how to play the first couple of rounds, how to play Syndicate first, and then how to play the first couple of levels, at least as far as I have for strategies for the time being. You can actually see below my screen here, the splits actually have tips, the tips themselves on what we're doing. But again, Syndicate is a game basically of espionage. You have your agents, you try to go and murder a target or several targets, or escort or capture, persuade targets to join the cause. And it's got a very Risk-like map, which you'll see here in a few moments. Again, if you so choose, you can configure company, give it a name, give it a different logo. Again, this is completely unnecessary per as far as the overall speed run, if you're looking at it for the speed run purposes. Well, there's all sorts here you can change it to, which it really, really doesn't change how the game works. It's just whatever you want it to. The only exception is, again, the company name. If you enter in a certain name or whatnot that's on a list of special names, you can actually get yourself more money or an early start or all upgrades or something goofy like that. And then last but not least, you could put your own name there if you really, really wanted to. I'm going to change the logo just for giggles. But that's that. Load save game, important to remember. The game does not automatically load or save itself. So if you do progress, you do need to make sure you save. This is one of those pre-auto-save generation games, so you really need to be careful about that. And for the sake of the speed run, it might be worth considering doing that before a couple of the missions, preferably the last one, especially if you do the one that I'm doing. Then, of course, restart the game. Restarts it back to the point of where you actually saved it or loaded it originally. So if I progressed halfway through the game and I hit restart game, it's going to go back to that point. Even if I've accomplished beating another dozen missions, it's going to push that back to that load point, which is very good, especially if you saved it and you want to go back to the beginning of the mission that you just attempted and say failed it for some reason, or you lost someone. You could do that to wipe your progress and to keep you going, so you don't have to redo every level over again. You can just start back where you started, where you started with the last save. So, beginning the game, the very first thing you're introduced to is the world map. This is the world that you need to conquer, in a matter of speaking. So it's like Risk in a sense. It strongly suggests that you build out from here and out, because certain of these missions will require you to do a lot more very, very strategically difficult things that may involve needing further upgrades or weapons that you might not have when you actually start the game. But again, the strongest suggestion, and of course for the sake of the actual speed run for the for the race coming up in October, is just to do the six that are over here. It'll blink which one it suggests you do next, which will end up being a progression from Western Europe to Western Europe to Scandinavia up top here, to Central, to Eastern, to the Urals. And the sixth one, you have a choice between these three: Kazakhstan, Mongolia, and Siberia. I apparently like a challenge because I've chosen to do Kazakhstan, which is essentially just a kill mission, but you have to kill at least a couple dozen agents, and they're very, very, very strong. So it's kind of a swag way to go, but for my case, you can see with my splits over here, I have managed to pull it off in about 7 minutes, and so that's the one I'm doing for my own purposes. If you were just watching when I started a few moments ago, you saw me biff it immediately, because it is a difficult mission. So to start the mission, you actually just select the place you want to go, and you can either click on brief, or the faster way, you just hit enter. And then from there, it tells you exactly what's involved in that mission. For this particular one, it says it's an assassination mission, and there's all the flavor text. It tells you all what's going on, the reason why you're doing what you're doing. And if you need more help, or you don't think it's going to be enough, you can click info, and it could give you some additional information, saying that there's about 5 militia hanging around with shotguns and pistols. So you get a better idea that it might be kind of dangerous, but since it's shotguns and pistols, those are the beginning style weapons, it might not be as dangerous. Mash info again. Believed to be staying in the northernmost building. So when you get in, you know that you're going to be running to probably the northernmost building. And then so on and so forth. You can get more information, to the point where it tells you that this is how you really should do it. If you spend enough of your not hard-earned money, it says that a single agent could do this. And very rightly so, a single agent could do this, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Well, it's important to note that whilst a shotgun is devastating at close range, it is seriously outranged by the pistol, which technically speaking, seriously outranged is not outranged by much. But in certain cases, the shotgun is absolutely devastating. Which is great for the case of the speedrun for the first 6 levels, which is why you see over here, you see shots on my thing. Shotguns are the only thing we use past the first 2 stages. Provisions should be mellow for these weapons to be used by the best potential. It can also be advised that similarly equipped agent be kept outside the camp for backup if needed. So essentially, it's telling you send one guy in. If he dies, you grab somebody from backup. You only need to have one. You can send everybody. There's nothing wrong with doing that. So once you've done that, you can actually enhance the map so you can actually see. You can actually see the map. You can actually drag this around, sort of. Well, I've already drug it well out of the way, so I can't really see. So you can actually drag the map around and see the area. Obviously, that's not going to help me right now, but this actually gives you an idea of where to go in the area. So since I've burnt $1,400, I'm going to cancel out everything here, restart back here, so get my money and the timing back down. By the way, you can see once you actually open up the game, you see there's a timer. Every 24 hours you get paid, depending on what areas you've already conquered, and what the taxes and all that are. If you click on the different areas, you can see the population of those areas. The higher the population, quote, the more difficult it's going to be. So if I come over here, there's a 49, and then there's a 53. So South Africa should be done later, most likely. 44, 43, 46. That one should probably be done later. The first one you start with is a 49 as well. That sort of has a bearing on the difficulty of the area. Generally speaking, for the speed run, that population and the timing, the money, per as far as waiting for it, shouldn't be necessary for at least just doing the first 6 stages quickly. But for reference sake, those are there. Tax will be more relevant later once you actually have the areas conquered. You can actually raise taxes to make more money out of the area should you feel that necessary. Again, since we're just starting, we really don't need that. So I'm going to select the first area. I'm going to hit enter because that's going to be the faster means. Keyboard shortcut's always faster. And then enter a second time, which brings us to our agent team selection. So basically we have these alien looking characters, which these are humans just recolored so it doesn't look like humans, so they can say not nudity, so I apologize for your sensitive eyes. But we have a team of 4 agents here. We have the 3 females and 1 male. Again, gender doesn't matter in this at all. It's just that just happens to be what they have there. You start off with 4 active agents. If you click on the team button, you can actually see that you have 8 to start with. But for the case of the speedrun, you should only need the 4. Basically, if the teammate dies, they're dead. They're gone. You don't get them back. Over the course of the game, though, you can collect more agents. Generally speaking, you're probably going to roll the same 3 or 4 through the entire game. There may be some areas that may be more devastating, so you may end up losing 1 and 2 characters during the process, and that's fine. You do have some backups, you do have some extra characters here. But to start, you get the 4, and that's fine. So there are several other buttons over here. There's Equip. Equip allows you to add a particular item that you've researched or earned or started with to the character. Now, all of your characters will start with a pistol. So, by the way, I'm hitting the hotkeys 1, 2, 3, and 4. That allows you to switch quickly between the agents there. Also, if you want to, say, purchase an item and not just put it on one character, like, say, for instance, I have Agent 1. Agent 1's going to need a Persuader. I know he's going to need that eventually. So I'm going to click on that. It tells you how much it costs, how far it works. It's a kind of an arbitrary number. Suffice to say, the larger the range, the more effective it is. I know that Special Agent Carr here, being my first person on my list, is going to be the one I'm going to be using the most. So I'm going to purchase that Persuader. Boom. But if I click on 2, 3, and 4, I can also see that they also have a pistol to start. But they don't have that because I only purchased it for the one character. So if I cancel this and I say, hey, before I go into the first mission, I also want to make sure everybody has a shotgun. They're not going to need it. But if I hit this button here in the middle, this 4 icon, this will actually select all 4 teammates so that I can actually come over here, click on shotgun, purchase it, and it will actually purchase one for each of the characters. So you now can see all 4 characters have a shotgun. So this makes it much, 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 much faster to quickly equip all of your players, especially if they're all going to be using the same thing. In my case, I'm going to be using exclusively shotguns past the second stage. And the reason why past the second stage is I don't need to buy any guns until then. Safe thing to know. As your character uses their weapons in combat, they do not reload automatically. Per as far as once you're done with the mission, you leave the mission. If you've shot out, and in the case, let's just take the pistol for example. If my agent has used 6 shots in the first area, he's only going to have, or she's only going to have 7 shots in the next area. So I need to make sure that I click on that weapon, and there'll be another button here that says reload, as long as I choose to continue to use that weapon for that character. It's better to, if you're going to keep using the same weapon, it's better to reload it than to sell it. Because you can also sell extra weapons. You can sell the stuff that you didn't need. Say, now that I've got a shotgun on here, I really don't need anything else. Boom, I can just sell the pistol. So I can go through all of these guys one by one and sell the pistol. Unfortunately, you cannot mass reload or mass sell. You have to do it one by one by one. That's just the way it is. That's just the way they have it there. But you can mass purchase. That being said, the weapons available at the start are the Persuadertron. The Persuadertron is an item that allows you to do exactly what it sounds like, is persuade characters to join your cause. Usually that's used to complete missions. Certain missions required to do that, and I'll be showing you that one here in Scandinavia. Scandinavia is one of the ones that actually will require that. So one of the first things you should purchase, and will probably be forced to purchase to complete that mission, is a Persuadertron, and probably some reloads or some extra pistols. But we like the shotgun, not because it has a shorter range, but because it hits everything, and it hits it a lot harder. Also, for reference, you have a scanner. The scanner will show you just about everything that's within a short range near you, keeping in mind that during the mission, for that to take effect, whatever agent you have it on, it has to be activated. And we'll show you all that once we get there. The med kit obviously is exactly what it sounds like. It has a single shot heal to the one who's carrying it, and it will refresh their health back to maximum. This might be recommended for the Kazakhstan level, so maybe all of your characters will load up on shotguns but save room for 1 or 2 med kits. It might be useful. Not required, but entirely useful. Even if you're just doing casually, it's incredibly useful. Remember, it is one shot, and it will also require you to reload it or buy another one once you've used it. So for the time being, I'm going to go ahead again one more time just so I can reset the time. I'm not 100% sure if the time itself makes missions more difficult or not, but for the sake of randomization and for the sake of the run itself, I'm going to go ahead and reset everything. So once you hit time, by the way, for those who are doing a race, time begins as soon as you click on begin mission. So that's where the time would begin. From there, you can just hit enter, joins the area, enter, joins this, and then you can, once you're done doing your shopping, you can hit accept with your weapons and go into battle. And you're good. By the way, if you want to change your team members, let's mention that while we're here. If you click on team, whichever slot you select, say I select slot 1, and it's Agent Baldwin now, I can select one, and then on the right side select any of the other ones that haven't already been selected. So Robertson, now it's Robertson, now it's Griffiths, now it's Carr, now it's Arnold. So I can switch it to whoever I want if I need to. Each one of the characters are exactly the same to start. They all have a pistol, a free pistol, and they all are exactly the same stat-wise. There's no difference between any of them to start. So there's no reason to come in here and change them unless you've lost somebody. Next over here we have is the mods. Now the mods are incredibly important as you push farther and farther and farther into the game. There are 3 levels for each mod, and there are 6 mods. Each level past 1 you have to research. And we'll get to research in a bit. But each one of these corresponds to a particular action. And you can click on these and it kind of gives you an idea what each one does. Legs, for instance, do the obvious. It allows your character to walk faster. Very important for our speedrun. Arms allow you to carry heavier items. As the game goes on, you find heavier and more powerful weapons. If you have, say, a heavier weapon on your character, they're going to walk slower because of their arms, of all things. So this will allow them to carry heavier weapons. Like later on, when miniguns become available, you want to have stronger arms so that you're not running slower because of it. Chest allows you to have basically a little more defense, a little stronger character as far as taking shots. But one of the other benefits is that when you take the chest, you can actually regain health by essentially standing still, or rather not using your special hormones, which I'll show you that when we get to it. So chest and legs are very, very important for speed and for health regeneration, which I do utilize in this in my my variant of this run. Heart allows you to maintain the heart rate, quote unquote, which is, obviously it's a heart. It does what hearts do, but importantly, that actually affects the hormones and the recharge rate and movement rate of the hormones. And again, I'll explain that when we get there. Eyes help your character to aim better, essentially, to actually be able to hit their targets better, and be able to react as such. And brain helps their response time, helps them to actually make that reaction faster. Each one of these has additional benefits as you power them up, but you start with the availability of version 1 on everything. For the sake of showing you what they do, I'm going to go ahead and put legs, and normally for the speedrun, the very first thing I would do is select everybody and put legs on them. But for demonstration, I'm going to show you the difference between legs 1 on Baldwin here and no leg 1 on Floyd. So you can see the difference just in moving around. And we'll show you those here in a minute. Last but not least is research. Research is exactly what it sounds like. It helps you to learn how to use different weapons or to make better weapons. Each one of these is labeled by a category name. Automatic will teach you how to use Uzis, which are quite a bit better than shotgun in the sense of range, ammunition, and speed of the shot. It's not as powerful as the shotgun as far as damage, but it does let you hit a much farther out creature. Heavy allows you to start using a heavier weapon. I believe that one is and I'm going to have to check my note here. I believe that one is either the flame gun or the long range gun. I could be wrong on that one. I'm pretty sure that's the flame gun. Yeah, either heavy or assault's the flame gun, because that's one of those starter ones. And the other one I believe is the long range. Flamer is a very, very, very powerful close range weapon. Flamethrower, it does what it does. The problem is you have to be very close, but you do get a lot of ammunition for it. And the other one, if it is the long range, if that is the one I'm thinking of, the long range allows you to hit a target in an extreme distance, which is fantastic. It's very powerful, very good range. The problem is with that is the long range, you don't get nearly as many shots as you would with either the Uzi or the shotgun. But you can see them farther. The better your eyes are too, the more that becomes effective. And last but not least is the access card. I have yet to actually find a reason or a purpose for the access card. I could be mistaken that could be more useful in some places. But for the sake of at least the first 6 levels, it's not necessary whatsoever. And as far as the game as a whole goes, I watched Bald Nate, who, by the way, a lot of my little strategies were built from watching Bald Nate. So go check him out at twitch.tv/baldnate, N-A-T-E, B-A-L-D-N-A-T-E. He actually just did a full run. Took him about 5 hours to do all 50 Syndicate levels. And a lot of my strategies and thinkings were because of watching what he was doing. So go give him a check out there. And each one of those you can click. Say I want the Uzis. Uzis are quite useful. So I come back in here, I click automatic because I know what that one gives us, the Uzis. It shows you a minimum funding and a maximum funding. As long as you're on this screen or outside of the screen, if you hit research now, it's going to go ahead and every tick of the hour, it's going to put the minimum funding into it. So if I want to do more faster, I can click research and then I just mash the funding up, and you can see the process of researching that weapon goes up faster and faster, faster. That is based on your money and the time ticking, 1 per hour. Once it's completed, the result of that research will pop up on the right, and you can see that I learned how to use the Uzi here. For reference, if you click on the weapon on the left, or the item on the left, it tells you what the minimum per hour funding is and how much it's going to take to completely fund it to 100%. So basically, it's 1% per hour, or 100% here being 100 times that is the total amount. Be aware, as soon as you click on research, it will start draining your money, so be careful. There's really no sense to start researching on any of these until you're ready to get it. And again, ready to get it means you have at least that amount of money in your pocket over here. You can see above my gun over here. Other things to keep a note of, once you find certain weapons, because there are actually missions specifically designed to get a particular weapon, you can actually research those back here once you have the opportunity to do so. One of the very early game's items that you really, really need to get when it pops up, I believe is on stage 3, and I have to check that. But there you can actually get the minigun very early. And the minigun is extremely powerful, and you will be using it through most of the run. The challenge being that you will very likely need to increase your arms to be able to carry it better. Again, for the sake of the 6 levels, it's not necessary. But like I said, I'm trying to give you just an overview of how to play the game and how the game works. So I've researched the Uzi. I don't need it right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, and for giggle's sake, I'm actually going to take team members off of here because I don't need them. Let's see if it'll let me take them off. Nope, it won't let me take them off. Okay, so I guess I just have to deal with the team members. I'm not going to need them, but they're going to be there. You can let them die, and then you'll have an empty spot because the game is totally beatable with just 3 agents out. But for my sake, I'm going to leave them all out. So what I want to show you first off is I do want to show you the legs, and I do want to show you, for the heck of it, I will show you the shotgun and the pistol. So let me go ahead, or the shotgun and the Uzi as well. So I'm going to purchase one of each of those for my guy here who does not have the fancy legs. By the way, the costs are actually set in there. They're not too bad. Buying the weapons themselves isn't bad. The research is what's going to cost you. So I'm going to go into the mission. So The controls are as such: you move your mouse around the edges of the screen to move the orientation, or you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard. No WASD here, unfortunately. You select the agent by either clicking on them. I believe you can click on them over here. You can change your character here. And you can just use 1 and 2 on your keyboard. That'll change it as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, 4. 4 is not cooperating there. So you can move them around like that. So let me show you. This is the leg speed with the legs up. Let me go ahead and have everybody come over here. By the way, same thing applies. If you want to select everybody, you can mash that thing in the middle, and they'll all come over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have all 4 guys here, and one has the better leg. So watch, just unmodified otherwise. You can see he's starting to pull away a little bit. But on crack here, and I'll explain that, he walks much faster. All right. And what I mean by crack, that's these things here. These meters on the left side of the screen are what's known as the hormone meters. And the hormone meters basically allow your character to do the action that the corresponding color represents. The red one affects your adrenaline. It lets your character walk faster. And the blue and yellow one affect your the character's reaction time and aim. So with all of these cranked over to the right, as long as they're cranked over to the right of that white bar, they'll start reacting or moving faster. So if I want my guys to start walking faster, I can go ahead and, first off, you can see this is their normal walk speed. But if I crank it up, you can see that they just go nuts, especially that guy with the enhanced legs. They just go absolutely nuts with speed. Obviously, for the speedrun purposes, you're going to be using the crap out of it. Now, if I was near an enemy, I could actually crank these up too, and you would see the difference. But since I'm not fighting anything just yet, and I might end up failing the mission because the guy might end up leaving here in the time I'm explaining things. The other ones are effective for fighting, essentially. And as you can see, if I go on the meters, and if I have everybody selected and I hit the left of the center, that meter is still going to push its way to the left. One of the interesting mechanics of this game is because your characters can't run full tilt the entire time, it needs to recharge. So if you go over here and you select all the way to the right for the running speed, eventually that you're going to see that meter is going to eventually tick closer and closer to the right. Basically, the more you use it, the less you're going to be able to use it in that area. Because you'll see slowly it'll start cranking itself down farther and farther and farther and farther. Eventually, once the darker color reaches all the way to the right, your character will stop using that particular hormone. And will not be able to use that until you reactivate it back further to the right again. And the white line in the middle is your dependency thing. So the further to the right, the less of that particular hormone you'll be able to use. To recharge it, that hormone will still continue to push its way that way until it's not being used, and you'll see that gap slowly start to close as your character rests. Now you can rest faster by pushing that to the left side. That'll actually not only rest you a little faster, but that'll start pushing that dependency farther that direction. So you'll start walking normally at this point. Fun fact, if you have at least level 1 chest and you've taken damage and you do this, you push this red meter farther to the left, you'll actually start to regenerate much faster. Normally, if you just have it at center, your character will regenerate a little bit with its version 1 chest. But if you push it to the right here, you'll actually recharge faster. Because this is assuming your character is not moving at this point. You can still move while you're recharging these things, but it will recharge faster otherwise. Recharge faster if you have that pushed this way. And you can see that I have this meter pushing that direction. So, that being said, I'm going to want these guys to run as fast as I can for as long as I can. And thankfully, with the exception of 1 or 2 of the missions, you can really pretty much full tilt the entire time. The same thing applies all 3 meters. The first one is the big one to affect your speed and your healing rate. However, they did see fit to give you a quick key of sorts to be able to push all three up without having to reach over here and click these one at a time. You can actually, with a left and right click simultaneously, no matter where you are, it'll push all the meters for the selected character all the way to the right. Also, if you do that, if they have a weapon, they will pull it out immediately. So, for the sake of keeping my character safe, I'm going to do this. So you see, if you equip a gun on one character, all the characters will equip the gun. You'll have some cases where some characters will have other weapons. If I select that weapon, nobody else has a shotgun. But everybody else has a pistol. Or nobody else has an Uzi. So you can see when you select something, only the person that has it will actually use it. Thankfully, if you double click like this, they'll automatically equip the gun farthest down in their listing. So if I have 3 Uzis here, it's going to pick that last Uzi and then work his way through there, automatically changing his gun. You can go through as you're running through and change your gun on that character, but as you see, since nobody else has that one, they're just sticking with the other gun that they do have. So that's a really nice function to feature the game. Again, for sake of this here, I'm going to unequip my gun, and thankfully that unequips the gun for everybody. Now, for reference, I did say earlier, this guy has 3 guns. I'm going to come over here, I'm going to poke the pistol. You can manually make them shoot the gun by right-clicking, and you can see this is about where it landed. Right about there. You can see where it's landing there. The shotgun, a little shyer, but it has a much farther spread. And then, of course, the Uzi. And you can see it has a much farther spread, shot and spread than the shotgun. And, of course, you do need to reload those to be able to continue to use those at some point. In the case of this first couple of missions, you probably won't need to, but keeping in mind you do have a limited amount of ammo. Now, since I have this guy here, and he's got a pistol fully charged, I'm going to go ahead and use him to walk in here. Now, I'm going to just walk right into the base. Now, as you can see, you can move around with this. You can kind of see what's going on. I can't really see anything going on. I do see this guy. My character, the AI, by the way, is crap at pathfinding, so be careful. He's not shooting right now. He's just taking it. If I pull a gun out, he's still just taking it. So I can manually shoot my gun and do that myself. So I can actually manually shoot these guys if I want to. But if I have his super hormone mode on, he'll do that himself. So I have him run up here. There should be a guy that runs out of here. Come on. You gonna come out? You gonna come out? Yep. There's a guy with a shotgun. And he died. Well, because he was being stupid. Come here. So that guy there just shot me dead. By the way, anything on your player when he dies, you just lose it. Where's this guy? There he is. Did I get him? I got him. So in here, you saw that I dropped a bunch of stuff. I can go ahead and pick up all of this stuff. I don't see anything there. So I have a few shots left. But a cool thing in the game is you can actually pick up weapons and stuff that your enemy drops, so you don't have to buy it. Of course, the only thing really worth picking up here, if you pick up anything, is that shotgun. Pistols are free, so you don't really have to worry about that. So I'm going to walk up here. I'm going to turn my juice on. And the point of this mission was assassination. Thankfully, it gave me a pinpoint where he was at. And that's it. So I've completed the mission. At this point, I could go ahead and wander around if I really want to. If he dies or loses something here, I have to deal with that. But as soon as you complete the mission, you can just hit space and you're done. Some missions you actually have to escape. In this case, all I had to do was run in and kill the guy. And we're done. So I can go in and walk through the buildings. By the way, you can left-click on the map, and your character will walk around that way as well. You cannot right-click and fire while on the map, which is a very big downside. But right-clicking on the map will allow you to reorient the camera. So if you like just following your character and keeping with them, you can left click to make him move and right click to kind of follow where they're going, which is really nice. By the way, the map focuses on the currently prime selected character. So if I have 2 selected and then I select everybody, the map focuses on him. But if I select 3, it focuses on him over here. But for me to actually see him, I have to right click. There he is. Then I select everybody, and I'm still prime focused on him. 2's over there somewhere on the map. I can't see him yet. So I can have these guys walk in and see if 2 paths properly and walks over and says hi. 2 is actually off the map at the moment. Because this is a very, very well-programmed game, and they can just literally walk off certain places and glitch through walls. It's rare, but it can happen. Like, I've had characters literally walk through fences and break the game. It's happened. Also, as a cool note, you can actually, if you see cars like this, you can actually run. Oh, let's turn on our turbo here because we like speed. You can actually jump in the car. Boink. Boink. Come on, number 4. We got a ride to take here. Brr, hi. We can go drive off. Bye. Oh, hey. And we're off the map. I can't even see over there. I can't even see over there. They come back. The guy's still shooting at us. We can wave on the way by. So, yeah, you can also do that. As another note, you can also blow up the cars by right-clicking on it and just blowing it up. Let's take care of that guy. Let's go steal his Uzi. Thank you. And, again, I'm done, so I could just space to quit. Yay! You win! So as you complete the areas, it gives you kind of a synopsis of what happened, if you beat it, how many people you used, what the general shot accuracy was, how many people were killed. I actually killed a civilian, but that civilian was actually the target. And then I killed 4 out of the 5 guards. There's actually another guard somewhere, I believe. And then you accept. You can just keep hitting enter here. And then you go back to the map. As you beat the areas, they will actually fill in with the color of your company, which default is this off-red color here, which might just be red, straight up red. But the map will start filling in with that color. There really isn't a super significance of the coloring anywhere else. Just suffice that if it's not this color, it's not you. It's not you. So that was the first mission. That's the general gist of how to get the very basic playing of running and assassinating, at least. You take your character and you find on the map where he's at and kill him. Thankfully, for a lot of those missions, they actually give you some sort of waypoint on the map to be able to find it. Like the blinking that was on the first one. You'll see the same thing on the second one. Now that we're back on the map, though, you can also see down here at the bottom, the tax rate right now is 30%, which you would think is extremely high, and it really is. But we can actually up this a little bit more to gain more money per day. You just want to be careful not to make people very unhappy. Otherwise, I don't know what happens, but it's probably not going to be a good thing. In the case of the speedrun purposes, 1 through 6, it's not necessary. In the case of the full game playthrough, it's not necessary to monkey with the taxes unless you really, really, really desperately don't want to sit here and wait for this to tick your life away. Again, the further the time goes, I don't know that it affects anything too drastically. It could, it might not. As far as I know, it doesn't matter. You just want to keep playing and playing as quickly as you can. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to Scandinavia, which would be my second quest. And just for reference, if you've beaten an area, you can actually click on it and hit enter to go back into it again, even though you don't need to. And you can see here I did lose my one agent. He is gone, or she. So I have actually lost that agent. So I could come in here and fill that void with another agent, and I have done so. Unfortunately, anything that first agent had, gun-wise, legs, they're gone. If they die, they're gone. You can pick up the weapons while you're still on the map if you're able to, but otherwise, they're gone. So over here, I can see agent number 2 has picked up a lot of drivel. I'm going to go ahead, just for giggle's sake, I'm going to reload everything. Keep in mind, if you pick up a weapon that you do not have researched, and by the way, right-click and dragging allows you to reset the order of where things are in your inventory. If you do not have the gun researched that you're trying to reload, you cannot reload it. So if I have these Uzis and I don't have, if I don't have them researched, I wouldn't be able to reload them. So I would only be able to use them until they were emptied. But that being said, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to push a pistol to my other players here because I don't need all of these pistols. Because pistols are free. Pistols are easy enough to get a hold of. I'm going to switch some stuff around here just because I can. I'm going to go back to my first player here, and I'm going to go ahead, and I know the next mission required a Persuader shot. You're asking, weapon, how do you know that the next mission needs that other than having done it a dozen times? I can click on it, hit brief, and the quickest way to know whether or not you're going to need something specific is right from the main mission brief window. If you look here, personal acquisition, the very second line tells me about what we're going to do. Personnel acquisition tells me that we're going to need to do something that convinces somebody, which probably means I need to be able to persuade them. Of course, if you look farther down, it literally does say persuade further down. Your squad has instructions to persuade both of the scientists to join us. So I know I need a persuader tool, and it has to be the persuader tool, which is right there. And it is kind of costly. It is $5,000 to buy one. But I will buy one. That's this weird chip-looking thing here. And I'm going to take it. And we're going to start. And since I just need one agent, that's all I'm going to take. I'm going to just go ahead and walk in. Now, in the previous map, there were only the guys that were out to kill me. In this map, there is not only those guys, but there's actually police. You see this guy walking up? That's actually a police member. He's just walking around doing his job. If you pull out your gun, which is equipping it like this, while a police officer is nearby, they will attack you. If you hold on to it in your inventory but don't bring it out, they will just keep walking by as if nothing happened. However, if you walk around on your map and you see, oh look, there's police officers, right? Well, let's get a little closer. And I can already tell you that they are not police officers for two reasons. One, you can see that their bubble over here is not full blue. The police officers, if I go over and walk around with a police officer, his bubble would actually be a blue bubble. So I know that if I approach these guys, these are going to be guys that I'm probably going to be able to shoot. And indeed, that's the fact. So I'm going to gear up. Civilians are going to run, and I'm going to let my character automatically attempt to do this. And he's taken out all of the guys. I don't need to shoot anything else here, because there's nothing else here to shoot. So I'm going to go ahead and walk into the building. Now, walking in these buildings is difficult. I say that because if I click here, I can click outside of it, but I don't know where my character really is concerning the map over here. So in my case, it's going to be easier for me to left-click on the map once I'm by the door, and I can actually just have him walk in the building. But you see this guy here? I need to persuade him, so I need to bring out the persuader and walk closer. Alright, so now I have him. How do I know I have him? Well, he's blinking yellow. Now, if you can actually persuade more than just your target, so I'm going to bring out the persuader again. I'm going to grab this other person. Alright, and I'm going to put that away. So if I come out, you now see I have two people. Now, I only needed one of those, and I needed the specific one that's not only flashing yellow, but white and yellow. So that is my target. That's the one I need to hang on to, but I also need another one. The one that's solid yellow, I do not need, but I've persuaded them, so they're going to keep following me. With this game, you can persuade quite a few people, but you are limited by your character's brain capacity. I'm going to go ahead and run in here and get this guy. You can only have persuaded per agent so many people. The higher the version of the brain that you have in your character, the more you can persuade. Also, other things, once your brain is level 2, anyone that you've persuaded, if you are running around and they're following you, they will automatically try to pick up weapons that are on the ground. Now, some of these guys, if I pull my gun out, some of these guys may already have a weapon on them. So they'll pull out a weapon if they have it. In this case, they don't. But they're going to keep following me until we're done with this mission. And that's what we need to do. We actually just need to get these two guys and get out of here. Now, if I turn on my turbo, that will make these guys walk a little faster, but they will not walk as fast as you. The biggest danger of this game, as far as these guys following you, is that the AI routing is terrible. The AI routing is terrible because I could charge just this way, and even though it's a straight line pretty much from the one building, they'll start weaving off and going way up the side of this map, up towards this direction, out this direction, just because the AI routing is garbage. Generally speaking, if you go a straight line, things will go a straight line, but even then, sometimes they'll just go, good luck. Which is why in the earlier two missions here, you only need one agent, so you don't have to worry about your own agents toting off in another direction. So I'm going to go ahead and grab these guys. I'm going to walk them all the way to my evacuate location, which is this bubble here next to my other agents. We'll walk nice and slow. And then mission's complete. I can just hit space. Everybody's happy. We've got another area. And you have completed this area, and it tells you how long in hours it took you to do it, how many guards you killed, how many people you killed, and if you've killed police, criminals, or civilians. You really don't want to. It's not going to really stop your stats any, but generally speaking, you don't want to kill any more people than you absolutely have to. Just because the more you kill, the more likely it is that you're going to start ticking people off that have guns as well. So not having to shoot a dozen extra targets is nice. The unfortunate part about it is, for the speedrun purposes, it's very, very, very easy to wrap in the police. So it's very, very easy to alert them and make them very unhappy with you. So ideally, it's best to put your guns away as often as possible so that you're not drawing an unwanted attention. But for the speed purposes, you're probably going to. It's just going to happen. That being said, further missions in the game may be far more relevant to not pull out guns any more than you have to. Matter of factly, level 6 is one of those areas where dragging across certain parts of the map with your guns out is a really, really bad idea. So, for the sake of what I'm looking at here, I'm going to look over here. They're content at 40, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can up this to 40 as well. So I'm soaking my people for money. I'm just soaking them for money right now. As long as they're not upset with me, that's fine. Also, for reference, if you click on these map areas, the game has a kind of suggested way through the game that says you really should do this one next. You really should consider doing this one next. You'll know that because the areas that you've beaten, it will no longer say brief, or the areas that do not have the word brief in the side, you really shouldn't be messing with, but the game didn't take into account that you can just hit the enter button. I really don't want to go messing in any other area right now other than the ones that I absolutely need to. So I'm going to go ahead and do the one that it's suggesting from where I have last clicked, which is here, which is Central Europe. Now this one's going to be fun because this one we finally are going to wrap all 4 of our agents into it. This is going to be a combat sweep, which means I'm going to probably need to kill quite a few things. If I want the details, of course, you can read the mission briefs. I'm not going to go ahead and do that for all of these because it's just going to be one at a time. It's you can read them if you want to. But each area has different mission requirements. Most of them are just kill all the things. Some of them are rescue 1 or 2 people. But you're going to be using all of your agents after the first 2 missions. The first 2 missions are just straightforward, one guy in and out, and done. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I'm going to sell off anything that's not a... I don't even need the Persuadertron anymore. I'm going to sell all the pistols. I'm going to sell all the extra garbage. I just want the shotguns and the Uzis. And I want to make sure that everybody has at least one or the other. Since I did the research for the Uzis earlier, I'll probably just make sure that everybody has at least that. Again, don't forget, you can actually just click on this here. And whatever you buy, everyone will have it. Since I clicked on him and I had that selected, I bought an Uzi. Everybody now has an extra Uzi in their inventory. So 2 or 3 weapons is more than enough for this next area. Way more than enough. But as you can see up in the top right, or beside me on my time split, I do have that pointing at Central Europe with shots, which means at this point I buy every agent 1 or 2 shotguns minimum. I save myself the effort and I buy them all 3. And since I don't have my leg mods on these guys, I'm going to go ahead and give everybody at least a leg mod. And you can see the money will go down, and everybody's going to have the leg mod. And since I've sat here long enough jawing about it, I'm going to give everybody the chest upgrade as well. And I still have money. I'm just going to keep putting these on. By this point, though, the only thing in the speed run you should have is just the legs. But because I have money and I have these all researched, I'm just going to grab everything. So all of my agents are going to be buffed to the hilt by the 3rd mission, because I'm soaking my people of the two areas, and I've sat here and waited long enough. They're all going to have their stuff. Research wise, I don't have anything here I'm researching that I need to or want to, so I'm just going to say okay, and I'm going to take my 4 agents with their full set of level 1 gear and move on. So here I want to pop into the car. Remember that car I showed you earlier? We're going to drive that car through the gate, and we're going to hop out of the car by clicking on the car again. We don't want to go too far here, because if we go too far, the car has to go start flipping through the roads and start doing all weird things. I believe on this stage, this police car right here, if we stop him and take out his cruiser there, he'll drop a minigun. Oh, somebody's coming. We should deal with this. Guns up. Boom, 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 boom. Guy's dead. Please. Okay, we're gonna steal his gun. Want somebody to steal his gun, please? It's right there. Actually, we're gonna take this guy out too. All right. So everybody selected. Everybody, put your guns off. Recharge all your stuff. We're gonna take the items that are on the ground, or not, whatever. I'm gonna move this car forward because I want to get this guy's gun. One of these guys here somewhere has a minigun. That's not the minigun. That's just an Uzi. I believe it was this mission. I could be wrong. Maybe it was this one. Anyways. So we're going to get my guns back out. I'm going to have to kill police because I'm evil. And as I go through, this is an urban assault. I have to kill all these red dots. There are some areas where you're not going to see these as obvious. There are some areas that you actually will have to walk around and just wait till they actually start attacking you. So I'm going to take out all the police because I'm evil. I'm going to pick up guns just because I feel like it. And under normal gameplay, you probably will do this. You will probably go and you probably will pick up all these gears, all these guns. As you can see, the game's like, oh, we're done now. You can go ahead and leave. I'm going to go ahead and blow this car up because I'm evil. Okay? And I'm going to look around really quick because I know there is a place, and I may be in the very wrong area for it. And I think I am. So I'm going to go ahead and gear my guys up. I'm going to have them run back to the car, put their guns away so I don't have to attack the rest of the police. Off they go. So once I'm done explaining the game, explaining the levels, I'll actually explain what I do for this, what I'm doing for the run that I have. Grab in the car, click up here. I can actually watch him. He's going to go around the turnstile, and then out the door. And we're done. Boom. So that one's done. Moving on. We're happy. We're honky-dory. We killed 5 police, 4 enemy agents, and that took us a full day to do according to this. And so time ticks on. Everybody's happy. Let's go ahead and crank her up a little bit because we want money. They're content. They're discontent. All right, we're going to drop that back down. We've soaked them long enough. Knowing that, I'm going to drop them down to 35. I'm going to drop them down to 35 as well. We don't want them to be so discontent they're starting to riot against me. And you can see, too, if we click on these, the population has changed on some of these a little bit. But again, per as far as the speed part of it, it's irrelevant. So next area, Eastern Europe. Now you see on my thing here, it says I have chests. Well, guess what? My characters already have it, so I'm not worried about it. I'm going to check all the gear that I have, and I have lots of random garbage. I'm going to sell the pistols because I don't want them. I'm going to put right-click on the Uzis to bring those to the front of my order and reload at least the Uzis. Let's see. Pistol can go away. I'm going to reload that. So I'll tell you what. I'm going to make this easy. I'm going to sell off all but one pistol and two Uzis. Everybody should have one pistol and two Uzis. Let's bring that to the third character there. To reload. Oh, excuse me. A shotgun and two Uzis. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to give him a shotgun. And bring my pistols to the front of the order. By the way, just right-clicking on it will bring it to the back of the order here. And by back of the order, front of the order, it moves it down here. So when I automatically equip my characters, they're going to equip the last gun in the last spot. Why not the first one in the first spot? I have no idea. So be it. And this one is also another run and gun mission, which is fine. Let's see. Do I have the ability to research anything? No, not really at this point. So I'm going to move on. And accept. So now, as you can see, there's police here already. And this has me on an assassinate mission. So I'm going to go ahead and walk straight down here, and I'm going to turn on my juice. But I'm not going to double-click to go ahead and run, because this, or rather turn my guns on here. Whoop! Now I will. I'm being shot at. I'm going to go ahead and stand here for a moment. I'll tell you what, I think this is the stage where the police officer has the minigun. Is that it? Yes, that is the minigun. So the minigun is on this stage. So if you really want to go out, you see this guy whipping in this car here. You get in there and you can just go take his minigun. And we're going to make this quick, fast, and in a hurry. I'm actually going to drive all the way up here. Not necessary, but I'm going to do it anyways. Boop, straight in. Boop. I'm out. Gun up. All right. So the guy I have to kill is this guy right here. And done. That's it. So, that is Eastern Europe. I can go ahead and space out so I stop using my ammunition. It's going to tell me, good job, you did it. You killed 4 guards. You had killed 3 police, which is not good, but whatever. 3 agents. But I've also got new weaponry submitted to the Department of Research. So I don't get to keep that gun since it was the first one that I got. I don't get to keep it. I could have used it during that round, and one of my guys probably did. He probably switched to it since it was at the bottom of his order. I'm going to jump you up to 35. Are these people content? They're happy. They're content. They're discontent. Fine. I'm going to drop you down so you're not paying as much. The next area is the Urals. I'm going to go ahead in there. Urals. That is also another combat sweep. So this one's actually very straightforward. And I'll go ahead and I'll re-explain these once I get through the actual speed run of it. But this is another run and gun. So, I found a gun. I want to use that gun. That gun's a very good gun. And since my guys have arms level 1, I should be able to use it without problems. So you see at the top of my list here, I have the minigun. There's a problem. Full funding on that minigun is almost $200,000. I don't have that. So what I can do is I can raise my taxes long enough to get that amount and then drop it back down and then research it, or I can just sit here for the next and wait for me to get another $50,000. Problem is, even if I do that, I still have to buy the guns afterwards. So I'm going to hose the people just a little bit. They're going to be a little unhappy with me for a few minutes. So you're content. I'm going to jump this up to 40 on each of these, except for the discontent one. I'll leave him alone. 40 please on this one, and then 40 please on this one. And then while I'm sitting here, I'm going to go ahead and jump in here so I can see how much money I have. And I'm going to sit here until that's at the 200,000 that I need. No, you could do this in a casual run if you want to. This is not going to stop you from doing anything too drastic. And I'm going to sit here and wait for a few moments. While I'm waiting, I want to say that I really appreciate all the effort that's been put into the DOS Castellon setup as it is so far. Bald Nate, Liz, Dog Developer, a few other individuals who've put in some time in routing a lot of these games already and trying to find a good way through them. I appreciate just the effort put into games that are older than some of us are. Not me. I mean, I'm as old as these games, just that older, if not older. I really appreciate all the effort put into it, and I'm really excited to be able to put all these games together to help in the routing process. My effort today, again, is mostly just to kind of explain the game because somebody in one of the chats earlier wanted to say, hey, this game looks super complicated. And it is. And it really is. There's a lot of stuff that this game has very involved with. Thankfully, as far as the speedrun factor, at least for the first 6 levels, it's pretty straightforward. It's very quick. I'm just going a little deeper just to give you more of an idea of how the game works and how the game flows. So all that being said, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to research that minigun now. Oh, minigun, why are you so awesome? So we'll go ahead and let that research boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom, all the way to the top as quick as we can. Boom, we have a minigun in our listing now. Excellent. By the way, that was $200,000. I don't know how I got $80,000 difference there. I ain't complaining. By the way, I didn't mention it earlier. You can do the same with mods. You can research the mods at any point, but keep in mind those mods are 400,000, 400,000, 600,000, 350,000. Yeah, they're expensive. So you probably won't be doing those right away. Level one on all the things is more than worth it for the most part. It's more than worth it for quite a while. But eventually you will certainly want to make sure all of that gets updated because level 1 will get overrun and overdone fairly quickly. I would say probably by the end of the Eurasian continent, you should probably consider having researched version 2 and have your characters wielding those as soon as you're done by that point. So I'm going to select all my characters. I'm going to click that minigun. 10,000 a shot, so it's very expensive. Keeping in mind that you shoot 10 rounds per shot, and you've got basically 50 shots. I'm going to purchase 2 for everyone, and that should keep you well for quite some time. The miniguns will keep you for a very long part of the game, and you get that at the 4th area if you take out the police officer that has it. So, good strong tip. So all of my agents, all you guys are very beautiful. I'm going to bring your meters down so you can start super powering those a little bit. And you can see this is where the routing thing immediately takes into place where it can hurt you. So I clicked down here, and those guys immediately walked on top of this landing instead of going down the ramp. So now they're trying to figure out where they're supposed to go. They went up here, back down, up and around. Now they're going up here. It's annoying. This is where the AI fails miserably. Oh, they're all coming right here. They're all coming to me. They all came to me. By the way, miniguns. Hot. And we're done. I just told myself, I just figured out myself how to do this that much faster. So this particular one just got faster, by the way. Compared to the time that I had, this one just improved by probably about 20 seconds, 15-20 seconds. This one just improved during the tutorial. By the way, my routing is by no means this is the fastest possible way. My routing is just the routing that I came up with based off of what I was seeing from watching other players and doing it myself. That's just what I was doing. So I'm going to accept this. Absolutely. That was glorious. Now, the 6th and final one that I'm going to be doing here is not necessarily the best one for you to do. I do this one because this is the one that I chose to do. In my mind, it's the least complicated. However, it's probably of the three that you see here that you can choose from, probably the most dangerous. I do it because I think it's fun. I think it's probably worth doing it. It may not be the fastest, but it's just the one that I do. This one is extremely dangerous because this one has tons and tons and tons and tons of enemy agents to such a degree that wow, I didn't use hardly any of that minigun. I'm not going to actually do this in the run because it's not worth doing. In my opinion, just for the way I've got the run set up as is. But I tell you what, these miniguns certainly have already proven their worth. And I'm going to give everybody another one because why not? So I'm going to start this one, and immediately I'm going to grab all of my guys and dunk all of their stats down. And I'm going to come to my corner, and my corner is right here. Whoop, somebody is shooting at me. Okay, and you can already see here, I've already got some disconnect with my guys. So I'm going to walk towards this way. You guys can get hit by the cars, but they'll generally jump out of the way. To my corner. And you can hear the music changes when there's enemies nearby. Oh, this guy's about to die. That guy just died. The music changes when there's enemies nearby. Yeah, that guy's dead. So my strategy, and I'll go redo this again once I get around to doing it. My strategy is hanging around this corner until I get my 2 waves of enemies hitting me. So 1 wave just hit me. And by the way, you can pick up the miniguns here as well. So I get 1 wave. Here's the 2nd wave. They're going to come from the bottom and come from the top. They come from the top because there's police involved. I'm going to heal. Okay, I'm going to move over here. And now that I've gone through the 2nd wave, I'm going to go ahead and go after the 3rd and final wave, which is up here towards the top. And I'm going to go ahead and crank that all the way up here. The final wave has done a couple strange things. Sometimes they hang out here. Sometimes they hang out behind the building here. And sometimes they hang out in front of the building up here. I don't know why or what causes them to do that. Just keep in mind that this area is dangerous because you not only have to contend with the enemies, you have to contend with police. And because I've kept my guns out, I now have to deal with all of these guys. And I hear enemies nearby. It's going do-do-do-do-do. So I'm going to put my gun away for a moment. I got to find out where these guys are at because they're not coming out. There he is. The weird thing about this, I'm going to gun up and I'm going to have him go over this way. All those enemies are right there. Now, it only looks like 1, but there's legitimately about 6 or 7 guys minimum that are standing there in that pocket. This particular one is goofy because the enemies patch up in 3 big patches. One that comes at you immediately from the top, one that'll come at you after a few seconds from the bottom, and the last patch has done different things every time I've played. That one they've patched up there, they've patched up between the back of these buildings, they've patched up in between these buildings here, and a couple times they've patched up here. And when you find them, it looks like there's just 1 or 2, but there's always between 5 or 6 guys at minimum to about 10 guys all sitting in the space of 1 character. So when you start shooting them, they'll start spreading out. The reason why I use the shotgun instead of the Uzi is because that shotgun will nail most of them, if not all of them, making your work that much easier. If you look over here on the map, you see all these gray spots here on the map. Every single one of those gray spots is actually an item that's sitting on the ground. All these gray spots are items. You see how full of gray spots that is? It's because there are so many items that they dropped. Early on in the game, that's a great thing because that means that's a bunch of stuff you can get, including the minigun. So if you didn't stop and take the time back at Central Europe, either Central Europe or Eastern Europe. If you didn't take this time back there in Central, I believe, to stop that police car and get his gun, you can actually wait until the 6th stage here, and I believe it was Eastern Europe. You can actually wait till Kazakhstan, take these guys out, and about half of them have miniguns. So minigun, 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 minigun. Just miniguns out the yin yang. And that's awesome. So you can actually get your minigun long before, or more than enough miniguns at 6. But, like I said, the safest way is to get it from the one police officer that's toting around in the car on 4. And that'll save you some time. But this one's done. Moving on. And that's mission 6, for me at least. So I'm going to go back through. I'm going to go each stage one by one now that I've explained it. And I'm going to go ahead and do a pseudo run of each stage individually very quickly. What I do for my strategy. And actually the one challenge actually just changed dramatically. Just from something I saw here in practicing or showing you as a tutorial. So here's where the actual speedrun tutorial begins. So I'm going to go to my menu, and I'm going to go ahead and, just for giggle's sake, I'm going to go ahead and save this mission. I'll save it here. I'm going to save it there. By the way, back on stage 2, we got 2 people. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if we go in here and we look at my team, yep, because there's 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, no, we didn't. Eventually, you do start getting more people. You do start getting more agents. Clearly, that was not then. But you do eventually start getting more agents to fill this back up. And I'm not quite sure how to do it sooner at this particular point. But I believe as you play the game, you get more agents. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to restart the game. You're going to see some flippy here's. Bring the game back up. And I'm going to go ahead and just hit each of the stages one by one. Enter key is your biggest friend here. Time starts when you click here. And I'm not going to keep it going here, but from here you can just keep enter. If you want to just keep going without any weapons, you can do that. For my purposes, I mash all the players. I can do this immediately. I give them Persuader, cancel, mods, select everybody, hit legs, purchase, and then go. Enter key. Gun up. I double tap I do the left click and right click at the same time. I run up here. My character will automatically shoot everything along the way. Come up here, wait for this guy to come out. Space, enter. Stage 1's done. Moving on to stage 2. That stage can be done, I have so far, in about 19 seconds. But that was without doing the legs and the Persuader. It's still very quick, though. Next stage, enter, because we've already bought the Persuader. We already have our leg mod. We can just charge in here. I'm going to take the gun off until we get closer. Because we don't need the gun until we go talk to these guys. Talk. So I get closer, then I'll pull it back out. Left and right click, pull the gun out, pew. Get the last guy, please, thank you. Pull out Persuader, click on the guy and run back out the front door. Run up the street to this building. Go in and tag this guy. And then run back out. So I'm going to run back out to the front of the street here. I'm going to hope that this guy from this building over here comes out at some point, otherwise it's going to be really slow. And then I come over here and wait for this guy to catch up. I will mash the speed button again, the left and right click, just to get him a little bit more speed out the door. Can't wait for them to catch up. I've got the gun out, so they're going to keep hitting me. That's fine. If you don't want to be attacked, you can actually just put your gun away, and they won't attack you. Come up here in the circle. Space enter. Stage 2 is done. So, hitting accept, going to the 3rd stage, enter until you get to your screen here. I'm going to select all my characters and I'm going to give them all 3 shotguns. Accept. Next mission. grab all my characters and shove them in the car. Click on the left side of the road here, not too far down the way, otherwise you go nuts. Left click to get him out, and make him start walking down this way toward between these buildings. You can left and right click at this point. Makes it easier just to use the map. This guy will come out, will kill a police officer. At this point, one of your guys may have gotten a really nasty hit. It's really easy to lose a guy in this stage. So you can either sit here and let them come to you, or you can take them out. As you can see, I just lost a character there. Come back here, and all the guys came out. I'm going to put my gun away and run back to the car. So it's very, very easy to lose something at this stage, keeping in mind that you have more than 3 characters here. And then you left click up here on the right side of the road, as far up here to the left as you can get, and they'll drive around and come up there. Next stage, enter, 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 enter. Since we lost somebody, we're going to have to get another team member. We'll select slot 2 with a keyboard. Select our gentleman here. Click do equipment, do shotguns. Give him 3 shotguns since we burnt it on the other one. Go to mods. We're going to give him a leg because we want to make sure he has at least that. And I don't have enough for too many chests because it's $8,000. But since I'm on him already, I'll just give it to him. That's all enough I had for chests. Oops, I don't want to do that again. And then I'll start my mission. Now, if you go into a mission that you didn't want to do, just hit escape. It'll pull you out of the mission, and you can go back and select the next one. I do it very often. It's a very easy mistake to do. All my guys are tuned up. Heck, I'll reload you on staring at you and hit accept. Alright, so I have my entire party here. This is the one I could sit here, come down this way, and take out this this police car that comes around this corner. And I lost somebody. He's already walking a different direction. So if you want to, you can do this. Otherwise, I could just go here. I can grab his minigun. And I can actually use his car to come up here to where I'm supposed to go. So you could do that if you choose to. That makes it somewhat faster and lets you bypass a lot of enemies. It might be faster to do it this way. I don't know. Get out of the car. Get over here. Because our guy hides out in this building. We want to get over here as quickly as we can. And we murdered him. I don't know where he was at. Space to leave. Since you have legs, it's very, very easy to catch that guy before he runs in that building. And that's going to save a lot of time if you can get to that building quickly enough. For the sake of testing that out again, the original strat I used to get the 654 was actually going a different route, which now that I'm looking at it, I can definitely tell is slower. I want to make sure that my guns are reloaded here just because I'm doing this again. But also at this point, since I did that, the minigun should be available to me if I picked it up, which doesn't look like I did. Well done. Let's see. Did somebody not pick it up? Nobody did. All right, I thought I did. All right, so everybody has legs. At least one person should have a chest module. The other route I had was going up this way. Gun and weapon out and just charge this way right up this road. It's hard to see through that building, so you just have to pay attention to the road itself. Left click down this road, just keep charging, keep charging, keep charging. This way you're going to get some opposition, quite a bit of opposition. But you go to the split, you go up the road here, and then you come down this way. That's the guy we need to kill. He's running in the building, so now we're going to have to kind of guess. I don't see him. I can't see him in the next. So we either have to wait for him to come back out, or we have to kind of mouse over until we see a shot point here. He's going to try to run back out, which is fine. That helps me find him. And he's dead. So that way is much slower, but you usually have the opportunity to catch up to him and beat his speed in here. But you can also see, and I actually see that this is probably not the faster way to what I just did there. If you come from the northbound way, you have to kill a lot of things. You come from the southbound way, you don't have to kill nearly as much, and then you can actually just rely on the car to bring the police car to bring you up here. When you do that, you can actually grab the minigun too if you're paying attention enough. So, that being done, that's good information to have. That can improve that later, improve that here as well. So that's Eastern Europe, I believe. So now that that's completed, we go to the Urals, jump in there, enter, enter, enter. Make sure everybody has a couple loaded guns at least. And at this point, you should have more than enough to buy a chest armor for everybody. The faster way, instead of going through and reloading everybody's guns like this, you can just buy an extra couple of guns. Just select everybody, hit shotgun, and just purchase, purchase, purchase. But I do want chests, so I'm going to hit chest and purchase. So now everybody should have a chest one and leg one. Everybody has shotguns. I'm going to accept that, and I'm going to charge headlong into the Urals. And as we just discovered, I can gun up and just walk down here and wait. They will come to me. So I'm going to wait for them. So that guy's just going to hang out up there because he's a jerk. That guy might come down eventually. You guys coming? They are coming. Guns up. Take him out. Two more coming. You got him? Got him? Get him? And you can probe them on by actually doing it yourself. Are we done? Nope. We're still not done. Come on. There we go. And we're done. Beautiful. That's the Urals. And then last but not least is Kazakhstan. Like I said, as far as that minigun, if you're doing a full run of the game, you probably don't need to grab it here. But if you do, and you feel like waiting to get $200,000, you can do that, certainly. My guys all have at least 4 full shotguns. We are good to go for the final area. I'm going to gun up here, get my guys resting on all the things, and just get them to this corner until they start getting shot at. There's a guy there. We're going to start running here a little faster. He's not shooting at us, so we're not waiting. We're okay. And now we're going to get things that are going to come at us around that corner. We're going to kill some police because, unfortunately, they just happen to be coming in the wrong way. Okay. And again, you can right-click to fire at any point in time if your characters aren't. Be aware you will cycle through your ammo faster than the agents themselves will actually use it. There we go. I'm going to recharge my characters a little bit while we have our gun out. I'm going to put the gun away, actually. There we go. And as soon as you hear the music, go ahead. There we go. I'm hearing the music again. So they're coming from all directions. Get the guns back out. Left and right click to prime up your stuff. They're going to come path against that wall, so we can just hit them as they run around the corner. And that saves us a little bit of effort. And possibly getting our guys killed. Alright, now since they're all dead, and we have chests at level 1. Oop, who's shooting at me? Take the shotguns off. I'm going to go ahead and crank that back. You can see they're all back at full health now. Come on. Alright. There we go. I'm going to keep running up this way. Where are our guys? Oh, hey, they killed themselves. That's nice. But they're all behind the building. So we're going to run up here and say hi. Come back around the corner. They'll come back around here now. There we go. You have to prod them. You have to prod them a little bit. Come on. Get around the corner. Whoa! Hey! Hey! Oh, that came from behind me. Okay. So clearly that way, I mean, that just this happens. Those guys were hanging out somewhere else. Usually it's good to let them do the shooting themselves, but for some reason in this particular case, the enemies themselves were just sitting somewhere I couldn't get to them. But generally speaking, that's the danger of that level. So ideally, before you hit that level, it's probably safest to come back here and save your game in between fighting there. Save your game. Come back into the screen here. Then select that level and go through. So 6 is probably the one you definitely want to make sure that you have your characters ready for action. And actually, I don't even have all 3 now because I had the other one die at some point. So the danger, too, of letting everybody die is that now nobody has all of the items that they need. But now that I have money, I can actually go ahead and just start cranking through all the stuff here. And I can actually go a second time with far more beefed up characters. Just don't forget to buy your gear. If you forget to buy your gear, you're going to be crying the whole way through. So I'm going to gear up the weapons and just run to my corner. I run to my little wall corner here. But once you get there, you can actually just crank down your running so that you can charge that meter back farther. Okay. There we go. He's dead. Put my gun... Oh, no. The police is shooting at me. So they're going to be healing pretty quickly with the chest. But we got guys coming, so... Whoa, we weren't paying attention. We're gonna lose. We're gonna die. So we weren't paying attention. We just died because we were clicking too fast. I wasn't letting the characters themselves with their upgraded stuff fight. So there's the danger. There's completely the danger of not letting the characters be the characters, essentially. That and having one less makes it difficult. So we're going to do it one more time, and then just to see it beaten. Team, we're going to put our Snelling here, Mumford and Taylor. I'm going to click back on you. I'm going to give you guys all of your gear. Everybody, please. Legs, arms, chest. The only thing you really need to fulfill the requirements of this are going to be your legs and your chest. The chest because of defense and health recharge, and legs for running speed. Legs will be less necessary perhaps on this one as it would be on earlier ones, but you'll already have the legs once you run into this stage. Shotguns, purchase a bunch of shotguns. Sure, full out. Accept. Full team. Straight up here. Straight to my wall. And I'm going to not click on anything. I'm going to let them do what they need to do. There we go. I'm going to let the agents do what they need to do. I'll put the recharge right there a little bit. Step up here, please. Now you see the guys whipping around the corner. They're going to keep getting nailed as soon as they run around. Of course, I'm going to have to nail all the police, too. So this is the danger of pulling out your weapons when the police are out and about. Okay. So now we can pull... Oop, I put the gun away. Sorry. And you just wait until... Hi. How you doing? You doing good? We're not doing anything. We're just standing around. Now the music started up. Guns up. Alright. So now I'm going to get attacked from both sides as I have police and these guys coming at me. But I'm ready for them this time. The reason why I picked this spot is the AI tends to like to run around that corner. Okay, make sure everybody's guns away. Do recharge. The reason why I like to hit that corner is because they have to run around to get to you. And a lot of them have weapons that shoot a much farther range than your weapons do. So you really need to be careful how far away you're fighting them. Since they're right there and I'm using shotguns literally to their face, I don't have as much to worry about for the range issue. Now I'm going to run up this way. I've got my stuff. I'm going to run up. I'm going to camp out here, let my characters do business. And now they're going to run around their corner here. There's that there. There's that there. He's coming here. Take him out. So I've taken out those guys. These guys I need to take out. And I'm waiting for them to come out here because they're problematic. There we go. Okay. Now we've got somebody. Alright, now they're going to do some weird stuff. So this is probably the safest way of doing this. There we go. And now we're done. Done. Getting it from both sides. Okay, yeah, now I got the egg crew here. All right, so that was the explanation of the speedrun. Now I'm going to do one round of it just so you can see it in action. And then I'm going to switch to the other game here that I had on my list to show and explain as far as the general tutorial of the game. All right, so from beginning to end, we're going to enter to the main screen, Syndicate, and as soon as you click begin mission, the time goes. So begin mission. Enter, 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 enter. Enter carefully here because it is fast per as far as legs here. Did I purchase it? I don't think I did. Maybe I did. All right. It is very quick between the transition of the research screen and that's the time on that one. Enter, 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 and since I have the persuader and have the legs, all I've got to do is select the mission. Enter, enter, I do have the legs and I have the persuader. Guns up, running, persuading. Let's put the gun away for now. I don't need that out until I get up here. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Up to the steps, please. Thank you. And close enough. Guns back out. 1, 2, 3. Get in the building. Go say hi. Go in the building, please, and say hi. Got the persuader out. Thank you. All right, I'm going to make a quick dash to the top building here. Grab this guy. And run out. So I don't want to keep dragging everybody with me, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the persuader off. And turn the gun off here because I don't need everybody to start shooting at us. So that guy is going to wander off. We are much faster than the civilians that we're trying to, quote, recruit. Okay, so he didn't go all the way up there. That's good. And we run up here. Thank you. Enter, 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 enter. Good, good. So it's a little slow. That's fine. I'm going to get the shots going. So this next level, go ahead. Accept, accept. Select all of my characters. Select the shotgun. I'm going to purchase 4 now and accept it. I don't have enough to do chests right now, so that's fine. I'm going to jump everybody in the car, pull through the wall, get out of the car, guns up and ready, charge down this path here. He should run out, take a shotgun to the face. I'm going to run over here. I'm going to let this guy come out at us and take these guys as they get closer. Okay, run down. There's 2 more guys, one to the right, one to the left. That guy goes out. Come over here. Take this guy out. Excellent. He's gone. Turn off the shotgun and run back to the car. Once they're all stopped and in the car, you can see it on the map. Click up here and go. Now, mind you, I changed these splits a little bit per where I pick up the chest and the shotguns. Since I don't have enough to get everybody the chest, I'm going to skip doing the chest there. I'm going to select everybody and immediately charge down to the south to this car that I wanted to get up to earlier. This way, please, guys. Thank you. I'm going to get down here as quickly as I can. Oh, he does have the minigun. Everybody in the car. So I'm going to quickly get these guys routing up to the top here. Get up there as quickly as we can. Shut up. That guy's still outside, by the way. Get out here. Get him out of the vehicle. Get him down here. Get him up here. Now I gotta get this guy in the building. Got it. Come on. So that's where that guy was. Excellent. Enter, enter, enter. Select the next area, which is the Urals. Here, everybody should have the chest mod, so I'm going to select everybody, select chest, purchase. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I have enough, but I will go ahead and load up on shotguns there, so we have more shotguns. Select everybody, come back down to the bottom of the ramp. Hopefully everybody follows down the ramp, and that'd be nice. And we're just going to sit here and chill. We're going to wait for them all to come to us, because they're going to come to us here at some point anyways, because this is kind of a sit and wait almost. Sit and wait. Because I could just charge down after them. There's no sense in it. Just wait for the music. There he is. There we go. Okay. This guy's coming from the north. Take them out. Take the guys out from the south. Come on. We'll egg this one on a little bit. Come back up here. Yep. Alright, that's good. That's good again. So we're going to go to our next and final area. We're going to brief. Enter, enter, enter. Check, make sure everybody has chests. No one has chests, so we're going to go do that again. Purchase and accept it. And pray we have enough ammunition to do what we need to do here. So we're going to charge up here, I hope. Okay, we're going to crank that down so we keep the regeneration up. That guy doesn't have a chest because he's not regenerating. Okay, put the gun away. Let me charge up my my hormonal things there. And they're coming. Good. Excellent. Just take them out. Take them out. Take them out. Yes, I know police is coming from the other side. It's fine. Oh, fireball. That can happen. That's one of the horrible RNG things. Some of these guys can... It's alright. Crap. To take him out. That's one of the horrible RNG things that can happen here is that guy... One of those guys could just explode. Okay, take him out, please. Thank you. I've lost another guy. Alright, and unfortunately, I didn't have enough ammo, and that's actually, I think, what... Yeah, I think I ran out of ammo on some of my guys, so that's probably where that happened. That's okay. We can still run with that. Even with that, we could still make a fairly decent time. So, strategy backup. Come back in here. Go ahead and reassign your team. Go back to equipment. Make sure everybody has a shotgun. 1, 2, 3. And then, at the very least, mod-wise, try to get everybody a chest, because that's going to be more important. So grab everybody, crank this up so we can make it to the corner. And if we see the guy, we can pull out the gun. I don't see him yet. There he is. So we go over here to the corner. Okay. Okay. That's gone. It's away, officer. I'm sorry. Just put the weapon away. You're fine. Just until the guys come back. There we go. Got my guns back out. Boom, boom, boom. I kind of want to move a little close. No, they scatter. I want to move a little closer to that edge just to make sure that they're close enough that we're not tangoing with their Uzis, because their Uzis can shoot a lot farther. Can shoot a lot farther than my my shotguns can. So I'm going to inch them this way, because we're going to get guys from both sides here. Guns up. Get back to the corner. We're going to have guys mostly from the south. They're going to curl around the bottom side of the building. I want to keep my guys behind here as much as possible so I don't get hit. Okay. Put the gun away. Crank down the hormones. And then we're going to walk up towards the top here, because this is where our last couple of guys are. Come on. And I can start picking up guns too if I really want to while I regenerate my speed. This way I have ammunition for some of the guys. This as a backup, of course. And crank my stuff back on, kill a couple of the guys on the way that are going to get in the way. You can see some guys already got taken out because they had their guns out. Oh, they're all in the street. I'm going to get out of the way. Okay. So the police are actually being fought. They're actually fighting the police there. Looks like if some of them got taken down a little bit. Okay, take them out, take them out, take them out. And that's it. Done. So even with a backup strat, it's still sub 10. So even with backup strategies, it's still sub 10. Ideally, about 7 minutes, 30 seconds. That should be an ideal, awesome time. Sub 10 is a great backup time. This is also why it's a good idea to do a save state. So you can either restore the state after stage 5 and just reload, or just quickly rebuild inside the shop to remake your teammates. And that should about do it. So if there's any questions or any thoughts to the strategy of how, at least how I do it, I'm sure there's certainly more ways to do it better than that for Syndicate. I'm sure there's other little tweaks and stuff that could be done to make it a little faster. I think I've gotten at about where I want it to be for now. It's about the safest thing you can do as far as where it was at. Stage 6 is the questionable one. One of the other 2 stages should be probably could be checked out to see if they're any faster. I just do that one because I like the idea of showing off one of the more chaotic sides of that stage, because that stage gets pretty rough pretty quickly. But as long as your characters have geared up, you have your legs and chest built up, and you have some shotguns with full ammo, you should be good to go. And even if you die, there's a pretty solid backup. You just reteam your guys, put chests on them, make sure they have guns, then put chests on them, and you should be good to go. And that's Syndicate. That is the 1 through 6 stage strategy that I use. That should be good to go. It might not be the absolute best, but it works for me. And clearly, a sub 10 time with backups is more than sufficient for this game. At least in my thinking, for the time being. There are 9 other games, so obviously not everything can be put into just one game. That just happens to be the one that I picked and strategized on.